Hey everybody, what's going on? This is your man Big B, Brian Hanley. Welcome to Steelers Almighty. Today we are breaking down some throws or breaking down some routes, I should say, from DK Metcalf. A lot of people out there are a little confused or maybe even a little bit worried about DK and can he replace George Pickens, and is he as good in tight coverage as George Pickens, and what about his catch radius? Well, we're going to show you a couple of catches today from Pickett or from Metcalf that says you shouldn't have any worry of he can actually replace what George Pickens brings to the table, people. So DK Metcalf is that guy. I've said it over and over again. I think he's better than Pickens, and these are a couple of catches that hopefully changes your mind. Before we get started with that, remember to like, follow, subscribe, and also sign up to become a member. As you know, YouTube kind of has some of their quirks about stuff. So we're going to have our all-22 footage this year. But if you want the entire game footage and be able to see my breakdowns of all-22, you got to become a member of Steelers Almighty. So make sure you sign up to do that. You'll be able to see the full breakdown of every Steelers game this season in our all-22 film. Having said all of that, let's get to this, people. So we got Metcalf. Separation is there, or I mean, sort of there. I mean, it's Patrick Surtain who's covering him. So basically, the best cornerback in the league. He's physical with the football. Now, it's not all good with DK, as we can see. And that's a good route. You'd like to actually see him maybe break it a little bit more. And when he comes off to break it a little bit more shallow there, but still a good in breaking route. You see that? There he is right here. Just comes off right down the line. So you don't give any bend back. You don't, venture out because he's got the separation. You see the separation there, the distance between him. You don't want to kind of flurry out here with the route. You want it to just be out and down, which he does a pretty good job of that here. But you see, it kind of floats out there. You see what I'm talking about? He kind of floats, and it's not a slant. A slant would be, here he is, he comes off, and it's a hard slant. Well, we can do a better illustration there, Big B. Is a hard slant, you come off more of that. This is what he does here, is he does more of a, okay, I come off and he's kind of floating in there versus just coming straight down. But tough after the catch, but a fumble. Now, that's the thing, is that you see here, hey, just get down. And we've seen that, look, it's nitpicking because you're getting after a guy for fighting for extra yards. It's like, what do you want? You don't want him fight. What we've seen George Pickens, especially last year, we saw Pickens a lot, getting cute with the ball, holding it with one hand. And y'all remember that Indianapolis game where he fumbled. This is not that same situation to where fumbles are never acceptable, but at least the effort on a fumble, okay, the guy's just fighting. All right, running empty here. Again, you see basically a dig route. So much that the Steelers just don't run, And here we have DK up at the top of the screen here, And just like before, and this one is more of a dig route. I guess the last route, technically could have been considered a slant, although you look at the play chart and it doesn't say that, but that's okay. But either way, he kind of floated. On this one, he doesn't. On this one, he doesn't float. He kind of rounds off the route a little, but he's not floating. At least he's not floating, but he does kind of round it off a little bit here, kind of rounds it off, but he does get down the line. But what he does with the catch, because again, It's cover two. There's a safety right there. You know he's going to get smacked, but it's DK Metcalf. So while you can smack, look at the punishment that those guys take. Like, you can come in here and you can blow me up if you want, but look at the punishment that they take. Look at the safety. And that's what we're going to get from a wide receiver. Look, Pickens did a lot of things. That is not something George Pickens did, on a regular basis. We've seen guys bounce off of him before. We've seen that. But look at the safety taking the shot there. Trying to blow him up? Nah, you're not blowing me up at all. Not at all. Love it. Absolutely love it. And again, none of this, guys, is to bash or diminish George Pickens in any way, because I've told you guys on many occasions, I think George Pickens is a top 10 talent as far as just talent in the National Football League. And because he got traded to the Dallas Cowboys, that doesn't change that fact. It's everything else that comes with Pickens on why I don't think he's as good as DK Metcalf. But that's neither here nor there. Here we got a little trick play. Wide receiver throws, tracks a bad ball, comes down with it. And again, it's something that George Pickens did extremely well because he had bad quarterback play, catching footballs that were poorly thrown. It's a poorly thrown ball. Now granted, DK's not open here. So the ball gets underthrown, actually helps him because he's not open. But makes a play on the football anyway. Something we saw Pickens do a lot of. Little trickery, wide receiver out there, but go up and make a play on the football, catch it with your hands. That's what I like. He goes up with his hands. He's a body catcher from time to time, but goes up and makes a play on the football. DK Metcalf. Just a specimen out there. Now here's another one. Just out route. Strong with it. Again, the coverage is tight. You see the 49ers are basically in a shell here. It's 1st and 10, and they're in a 4 shell where they got all these guys just protected, not letting anybody get behind them, with the underneath coverage right here. It's not man. So they're just keeping everything in front of them. So as soon as DK breaks out, corner is right there. So first off, it's a good throw by Geno Smith, but tight coverage makes a contested catch, something we're going to need a lot of. That's just strong hands. First, it's good ball placement. That's a good throw by Geno Smith, but the corner is literally, ladies and gentlemen, he is right there. He's on it. And you'll see on this next shot here, DK just big boys him and said, no, I'm too strong for that. Too strong for that. See? That's about as tight of coverage as you can get. He's there. The defender is right there. Catches it. No, I got it. I got it. Just big boys him. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. DK at the top of the screen. It's just a go ball. And that's Sauce Gardner. What I like here is the get off. That's what I like. Notice the get off. Yeah. And Sauce is one of the best in the league. Think he got a little overrated after his rookie year. I'll admit that. But Sauce Gardner is still one of the best cornerbacks in the league. And look at the release by DK. Just nope, and gets away. Now, Sauce is good, so the coverage is still going to be tight. But right at first of all, that's an outstanding throw by Geno Smith, right in the breadbasket. But how many times did we see George Pickens do this? Just right in the breadbasket, catch over his shoulder. Nice play. 2nd and 13. First down. Right on the sideline. But that was basically the release. The release by DK. Can't see the release on this angle. But you can see the catch is right there. And late hands. That's the key. A lot of people, receivers, especially high school, even college receivers, they throw their hands out so early, and defenders can see it, and defenders can knock the ball away. See here, late hands. Don't bring your hands up to catch until you actually have to catch the football. His hands aren't up, and you see the ball literally is right here. Right there. And his hands are not up as of yet, as you can see right there. They are not up as of yet. Late hands, people. It's great. Like I said, it's a phenomenal throw by Geno Smith. But late hands, good release. That's DK Metcalf in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. Now, again, I want to thank everybody for coming and checking out Steelers Almighty. I appreciate all of that, man. If you want to see more All-22 coverage during the season, make sure that you sign up to become a member, because we will have the All-22 of the entire football game all season long for you guys. So make sure you sign up at the All-Pro level or higher. You guys will get access to all of that. Appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon, and aloha.